They lost everything. They lost their families, they lost their homes, they lost everything. And this was their hope to start new lives.
The Exodus 1947 was, to that date, the largest ship that was bringing what the British deemed illegal immigrants to Palestine. It began its life actually very close to us in Baltimore. During World War II, it was sent, of all things, to England and was a troop ship. After the war, it was going to be gotten rid of as junk, and the Haganah bought it for the purpose of bringing illegal immigrants to Palestine. It was paid for by American Jews, many of them from Baltimore, to try to give the survivors a home. After leaving Baltimore, the ship sailed to France, and that's where it picked up its passengers.
The sheer number of passengers that were packed on this ship, there were 4,500. They all went there out of their free will. A woman whom I met many years ago, Giza Rosenblum, she was from a tiny little place called Yamna. She met a young man, and they married in 44, and their young son was born in 1945. The very moment this couple heard that there is such a possibility of going to Palestine, they took their 2-year-old son and volunteered. They were one family among many.
It was supposed to be a secret to elude the British, but the British found out very early on. And as it got closer to the shores of Palestine, British flotilla surrounded it, said, "You're violating the blockade of Palestine." They rammed the ship, and a group of Marines boarded the ship. There was a fight that was ensued, but the passengers didn't have weapons. It was not an equal battle by any means. There were lots of injuries, but 3 casualties. Among those killed was a young American Jew named Bill Bernstein. He was pre-med. His mother wanted him to be a doctor and have a good life. Instead, he enlisted in the Merchant Marine. After the war, he was offered a job teaching at the Naval Academy in Annapolis. And again, he turned it down because he wanted to be part of this amazing mission to bring DPs to Palestine. In the past, a lot of other ships had tried to make it to Palestine. 1 or 2 were successful. The bulk were picked up and the passengers sent to Cyprus.
But they were taken to France.
The British thought that if they did something more dramatic, it would dissuade other refugees from coming into the country. But it had exactly the reverse effect. And in DP camps throughout, there were mass protests. And in the United States as well, public opinion turned against Britain. In Madison Square Garden, there was a demonstration of 20,000 people, and they were holding signs memorializing Bill Bernstein, because that really hit home.
France was willing to take them on condition that they would volunteer to get off the ship. But there were no volunteers, and they were taken to Germany.
So it brought back all the worst nightmares of what they had endured.
They did find peace, most of them. Giza and Reuven Viernik and Alexander, their son, indeed came in March 48 in Jerusalem and settled there.
This July marks the 70th anniversary.
And the interesting part is naming the ship Exodus. In Hebrew, Exodus from Europe. Exodus is Exodus from Egypt. It is so symbolic that every year on Passover, we celebrate the anniversary of leaving Egypt from slavery to statehood to peoplehood. And I think that they felt the very same way. It was like a repetition of the same story.